Moray, Yaki, yeah.
Now, this scene is taking place around 960 BC. Around 960 BC, before the building of the Second Temple, we're going to read about the story of Jonah. So we're going to go to Jonah, the first chapter, the first verse. Jonah was a prophet of the Almighty. Right, sis?
Yes,
He was a prophet of the Almighty. But the problem was that Jonah knew he was a prophet. He knew he was better, or he was different, or he was special. He knew this. And that was a problem for Jonah, because Jonah didn't understand how to be merciful and compassionate to people. There's a lot of us, some of us today, especially when it comes to a man ruling over his house, a lot of us don't know how to be compassionate. A lot of us don't know how to show mercy and kindness and truth to the people that we are put as the heads or the leaders, or in being responsible for people. A lot of us don't know how to do that and do it in righteousness. So we abuse it. A lot of us. Jonah happened to be one of those individuals. Jonah was a very, very powerful young man, gifted, talented, strong, highly, highly spiritual. Let me know when y'all get it. Just give me a little shout out.
Actually did.
I guess when you're ready to read, just... Little man, you got it?
Mm-hmm.
You got it?
Yep.
Tell everybody your name.
Jaja.
Tell them your name.
Jaja.
What's your name?
Oh, Jakai.
Say it.
Jakai register.
All right, Jakai Register. That's Moriaki L, son. That's for the record, so you going down in history today. Go ahead, Jakai. Jaja.
Wait, I'm reading?
Yes, sir.
Yes. We're going to let you read first.
I'm sorry, what
Now
chapter,
the word of
Jonah
Yah.
chapter 1. First verse.
Now the word of Yah came unto Jonah, the son of
Amittai.
Amittai, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it.
I had actually looked up a reference for Jonah. Do you know that Jonah was mentioned in the scriptures in other places? Never knew that. I believe it's 2 Kings, I think it is. First or 2 Kings, they make a reference to the prophet Jonah. One of y'all who got the ability to look it up, look up where Jonah is mentioned in the scriptures. I think it's the 4th chapter, I think.
14. 2 Kings 14.
2 Kings 14. What does it say? 2 Kings 14, what verse?
Verse 25.
Somebody pull that real quick. Because we're going to verify the validity of prophet Jonah. 2 Kings 14, verse 5.
20.
25. 2 Kings 14, verse 25. When you grab it, just start reading.
Go ahead, yeah. Second Kings what? What you got?
Chapter 14, verse 25.
I'm on 14 and 25.
You got that already?
Yes.
You ain't no joke. Boy, I can tell who your daddy is. Go ahead, read. Read.
No, 14.
Yeah, verse 25.
And he took all the gold and silver and all the vessels that were found
He in the right
in
place?
the house.
All right,
25, I got it. We got it.
hold up. Go ahead.
He restored the coast of Israel from the entering of Hamath unto the sea of the plain, according to the word of Yah of Israel.
Unto.
Excuse me?
Go ahead, read it.
Okay. Which he spake by the hand of his servant Jonah,
Jonah.
and the son of
Amittai.
Amittai.
See, Jonah, this son of Amittai, is letting you know he's the same Jonah. He's a prophet. His father's name was Amittai. Chances of some another person being a prophet named Jonah with a father named Amittai in the scriptures is almost impossible. This is the validity of 2 Kings, where Jonah was actually, they were making reference to this prophet Jonah way back. before he took place, his book took place in the chronological order of the Tanakh being assembled.
Right.
They make Jonah out to be a minor prophet, but it's probably just that they lost a lot of his writings. Jonah wasn't no joke. His loyalty to the Creator, he acted like a child in so many ways. That's how you know he had that personal relationship with the Creator. Watch what happens. There's no question about Jonah's loyalty or his trust in the Almighty. He was so confident that when all the other men was praying to their deities, Jonah was cool. He knew what was going on. He knew he was the cause or the root of the problem.
Right.
He said, well, pick me up and throw me over the board. It'll stop. I know it for a fact. But let's go on. Let's read on. Ja, go ahead. Jonah, chapter 1, verse 1. So we substantiated who Jonah is now. He's what really a high-power prophet. But we don't know that yet.
You got it, Nicky? There you go.
1, 2.
Yes. 1, verse 1.
Verse
Start
1.
over.
Verse 1.
Now the word of Yah came unto Moses,
Jonah.
Unto Jonah.
unto Jonah, the son of
Amittai.
saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it.
Now go to where? North Philly?
Nineveh.
Where? To the ghetto?
Nineveh.
What did he say? To America? Let me tell you something. He said Nineveh. Who lived in Nineveh?
I think it was
Anybody
the,
know?
Going, Gentiles.
Syrians,
No.
I think. I believe it was the Syrians.
Syrians. That's right. This,
Going, Gentiles.
Assyrians?
Yeah.
Okay, Maura. I'll leave it alone. If you want to go that far, Gentile, then okay. No problem. He said, go to the Assyrians. Syrians was a great, mighty nation. This ain't just no little city that he's being sent to. You know what I mean? Like if he said go to Jersey. No. He said go to the United States of America. Go to Great Britain and talk to the king of the people. You understand? It wasn't no small task that Jonah was being given. But see, Jonah was arrogant. He said, well, we just read that scripture right there. Jonah was talking to his people, the children of Israel. He just sent him to the Gentiles, the Goyim, as Maury want to put it. He sent him out to
Nineveh.
Nineveh. That's right.
See, that's what shocked me. That he didn't send them to us.
Right.
He sent them to the Goyim, like you
But the
said.
message is for us.
Right.
Watch, because it's always something the Most High has an intentions on doing when he sends a message to people. That whole book is written for the nation of Israel. You just have to be able to, as they say, go in and dissect certain parts and pieces and make it relevant to your life today.
Right.
So go ahead, read that a little bit, please, Jaja.
Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it, for the wickedness is come up
Ascended.
before me.
There are a lot of people that teach today that the Gentiles should not inherit the kingdom of the Almighty. That there is no way for a Gentile to receive salvation. That's what they teach. So that means that a Gentile can't serve the Creator. So then what is Jonah doing?
Right.
Who is Jonah talking to, and why is he wasting his time going to these people? These people will humble themselves before we will. How many times the Most High spoke to you and said something to you that said in your heart, in your mind, in your spirit, that you know you're doing evil, and you find a way to justify it?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
The Ninevites didn't do that. Know what the Ninevites going to do? They're going to say, what? The Creator said what? Bang! And they're going to humble themselves, fast and pray, and change from their evil ways. Not us, you know. We got to debate over scriptures. We got to argue with our brothers and sisters. We know in our hearts they're right, but we got to just fight it because our mind tell us something other than what's truth. Our minds, the psychological part of us, tells us what we want to hear. And then we try to defend a lie within our nature because we're not living in our integrity. If we really lived in our integrity, once we hear it, we will automatically change our behavior. We don't do that. We fight with it all day, all night, especially if it's coming from somebody that look like us. Read on, little man. Read on.
1, 3.
Yeah.
But Jonah rose up to flee unto
Tarsus. Where you go?
Tarshish.
Tarshish from the
Presence.
presence of Yah,
You want to take over?
Yeah.
You did a great job, man.
Very good. Man, oh, man.
Appreciate it.
But Jonah rose up to flee unto Tarshish from the presence of Yah
Wait a minute.
and went down
Where did the Most High tell him to go?
Nineveh.
So why is he going? Tarshish in a different direction. Why is he? You understand?
Hard-headed, stiff-necked.
Stiff-necked, stubborn. But why didn't Jonah want to go to Nineveh?
Because he didn't want to do he didn't want to go give the Most High's word to a no-name people.
That's right. Well, they wasn't no name.
Well, in his eyes they were.
No, they wasn't. The Assyrians was a great.
Well, what I mean
No,
is
no,
every-
non-Israelite,
go on.
a non-Israelite.
Non-Hebrew family. Okay, I'll agree with that. So he didn't want to do it. That's his will. He's trying to do it his way. Had nothing to do with what the Most High ordained for him to do. Read on, please.
Jonah, however, started out to flee to Tarshish from Yah's service. He went down to Joppa and found a ship going to Tarshish. He paid the fare and went aboard to sail with the others to Tarshish,
Went out of
away
his
from
way.
the service of Yah.
All right? I ain't worried about that. He went out of his way to go and do the opposite of what the Creator commanded him to do. Why? Because he was stuck in his feelings. He wanted things to be done the way that he wanted things to be done. Now, how oftentimes you do that, Al? How many times we do that in our lives, in our relationships, in our walks with the Creator? We think that things should be a certain way. So when the Most High give us the understanding, you leave service and you say, well, I don't care what Maurice said. I'm going to do it my way anyway. Because that's what happens. To the Most High knocks you upside your head
Right.
and show you that you're going to do it my way.
Okay.
What did I say for you to do? The signs be prevalent in our face, but yet when you run. Jonah tried to run.
Yes, he did.
But Jonah ran because of his arrogance. I'm too good to go speak to these Ninevites. I'm too good. Go send Zechariah. One of them people. Well, watch what happens. Read on, please.
Verse 4. But Yah cast a mighty wind upon the sea,
Creator trying to get his attention.
and such a great tempest came upon the sea that the ships was in danger.
Ships was in danger. People was afraid. Now these people were seamen, and the seamen was afraid.
Right.
So that lets you know how bad that sea was acting. The ship probably was standing up in the air like this, straight up in the air like that. They were afraid. They were so afraid, but they was also superstitious. They were so afraid that they got together and said, hey, y'all, let's go pray to our gods. Everybody prayed to their own deities. It's funny how this, watch. Pay close attention in this next couple verses, how it goes with these people praying to their deities. Watch what happens.
If I say to my more the Most High, it seems like the Most High is trying to get my attention. He'll say, the Most High got your attention, not trying to get it.
Right.
Good analogy. Watch these next couple of verses. Read on, please.
But Yah cast a mighty wind upon the sea, and such a great tempest came upon the sea that the ship was in danger of breaking up. 5. In their fright, the sailors cried out, each to his own deity.
The sailors. Now, it just don't say the people on the boat as if it was regular. These are sailors. So sailors are accustomed to the sea acting a fool. But this wasn't just no normal acting a fool sea that was taking place. These men was afraid for their lives.
Right.
Sounds like they were in a tsunami.
They were sailors, right? But they were afraid for their lives. This was horrible. Hey, you ever been out in the ocean at night? Anybody?
No.
Been on the ocean at night?
Yeah,
Did you ever look down in the water?
can't see nothing.
Can't see nothing. The water is a world of its own. Completely horrible and horrifying.
Right.
Completely. You put your head under the water in the ocean. Just put your head in the water, open your eyes, you'll be afraid. It ain't no joke. So now they out sailing on the ocean with a tempest, a storm. It's like a tsunami, as the brother said. And watch what they take place now. They so afraid they start praying to their own God. The different nationalities of men who was on the boats praying to all these different deities. And watch what cool, slick back, laid back Hebrew Jonah doing.
So they were afraid because of the storm?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
They ain't seen nothing like this.
Never.
'Cause like you said earlier, sailors is used to what being in choppy water. Choppy water is nothing,
Yeah.
really.
If you're a seller's man.
You learn
Okay.
how to hit the sail a certain way, which angles the boat a certain direction. You're used to the current, the wave's going to take you up, slam you down. You're used to all that. You prepare for that. Yes.
Prince, I think that one of the things that we have missed is that this storm came out of nowhere.
Correct.
Sailors know that you can see a storm coming and they can say, look, like a storm that way. This storm came just all of a sudden.
When they got on the water. A good
Correct.
idea.
Because sailors know the sea.
Yes, they do.
They wouldn't have left dock
Exactly.
if they saw
really tore up
this
out
storm
there.
coming. That just confirms that the Most High's hand is
As
in this.
powerful as this storm is, they wouldn't have left. They'd have waited.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They'd anchored their ships, tied them down with boats, with strings, and put tarps over top so any
Right.
water hit it or slide off. They wouldn't have left. But watch what happens.
5. In their fright, the sailors cried out, each to his own deity, and they flung the ship's cargo overboard.
They were
to-
so afraid they threw all their cargo, valuable things, into the ocean to spare their lives. What man do you know that wouldn't give up all his worldly possessions for another year of life? That's a perfect example of it right there.
So they thought that by throwing their stuff into the water, that their life would be saved.
Yeah, they thought it would make the boat lighter,
Later.
Oh.
so it could float easier on the water. Read on, please.
Okay. Each praying to their own deity, and they flung the ship's cargo overboard to make it lighter for them. Jonah, meanwhile, had gone down into the hole.
And went to sleep. They up there scared.
What's wrong with this man?
They up
He
there
said, I'm taking
afraid.
that. I'm good.
They running. Jonah just go downstairs and he go to sleep. You know why? Because he knew what it was going
He
on.
already knew what it was.
He knew what was happening. Now, how many times you living in your sin? I heard Moray say earlier when he out there, he sinned against the Creator. He talking about, oh, Creator, I see the punishment come. Oh, I'm sorry, Creator. All right, just don't kill me. Oh,
Right.
spare my life. Have mercy.
Right.
You know, he's already. Jonah was doing the same thing. Jonah knew the Most High was going to get him for being disrespectful
Right.
and disobedient.
Right.
He knew it was coming. And then when it started coming, he accepted his punishment. He went down there and laid down, went to sleep, and chilled until something else happens.
The
Read
calm
on.
before the storm. Jonah, meanwhile, had gone down into the hole of the vessel, where he laid down and fell asleep. The captains went over to him and cried out, "How can you be sleeping so soundly? Up, call upon your deity. Perhaps the deity will be kind to us, and we will not perish."
Now,
Well, what made them think that he got that kind of power?
they think that all men, gods, have that kind of power.
And he's the one
They
with the
serve multiple deities.
Right, but
And
what
at
made them
that
think
time,
that
they was
was
just
power?
testing to see who God or
Oh,
who
okay.
Was
power.
going to
right,
kick
right.
Yeah,
in.
who,
Yeah.
Pray to your God, pray to mine. Somebody
Yeah.
gotta help us.
One of these daggone guys.
Somebody
gonna
gonna
help.
help. Yeah. But then they got the reality check of their whole lives, which changed their whole lives. See, Noah wasn't just a messenger for Nineveh. He was a messenger for all the sailors on the ships as well. Because watch what happens after he do what he do. They said, pray to your God, and maybe your God will come and help us and heal us and stop this.
Because
this
they already been
tempest."
doing it, and they still in the storm.
Yeah,
And
they
he
ain't
just
getting no
back-
results.
And he back chill like, oh, what's up with
Up in
this
the cut.
dude?
They ain't getting no results.
That's
Try to
right.
say right here.
Well, watch what happens after he speaks. Read on, please.
The men said to one another, "Let us cast lots and find out on whose account this misfortune has come upon
Now
us."
stop for a second. I want y'all to know that the Creator's in control of everything.
Everything.
Now these people are idol worshipers. Idol worshipers. They're casting lots, hoping that their God will cause. They don't know nothing about the Creator of all creation yet.
Right.
They don't know nothing about Him yet. But yet they got enough trust in some power is going to answer us.
Right.
So they're casting lots, throwing it to see who responds. They didn't know who responded. And the lot fell on Jonah, which means it was correct. So they go back to, yo, what's up with you, brother? Who you pray to? What this is about? Why this is going on? And Jonah lays down a story. Changed their lives forever. Not just the Ninevites, but he changed the lives of the sailors on the boat. Read on. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Then they cast lots, and the lot fell onto Jonah.
Fell on
They,
Jonah.
they said to
The
him,
Creator's in control of everything.
Tell us, you who have who have brought this misfortune upon us.
See, they didn't know nothing about the power of Israel.
What is
They
your
didn't know nothing
business?
about the power of Israel. They probably heard of them, but they probably never experienced an upfront confrontation with a Hebrew until they met Jonah. You understand? When they met Jonah, they said, hey, brother, well, wait a minute. What makes you so special that all this is happening and taking place because of something that you did?
Right.
Who are you? Tell us who you serve. Tell us about this power that you're supposed to be, because he the truth. Believe me, I prayed to my God and it didn't help. So your God, he must be the truth.
Is
Right.
that gonna make them turn that way?
You got to tell.
Well, that's the whole purpose of the story.
That's
is
right.
changing minds and
That's right.
perceptions.
He said, well, wait a minute. Tell me what's up with you, Jonah. What is it about your power that you serve that he going to cause the sea to act a fool because you disobeyed? Who are you?
Right.
Don't people say that to you today? Who you think you are? Moray, don't you get that all the time? Who you think you are? Don't the Most High move mountains for you so that you can get victory? How they say, praise the Most High. Ain't that what they say?
Yes, sir.
That's right. He gonna do some things to let them know who we are. He gonna open some doors and some places and some things are gonna take place and people gonna sit back and, nigga, you conceited.
Yo,
Yeah, you got yeah. you conceited, you arrogant, you just so haughty with your, it ain't that, I just got a confidence. I know who I serve, and I know that he's real. This is not what I believe. This is about what I know. There's a big difference between what you believe and what you know. What believe say? Be lie. It be a lie. That's what it means. Believe, B-E-L-I-E, be a lie. That's what it is. Because you believe in anything.
Oh, yeah, break it
People
down.
take beliefs and run like crazy with it. Jonah wasn't believing. Those men was praying, they was believing it. Jonah wasn't believing it. He knew what was happening. So he can chill. He can chill. When you're a child and you're little, they teach you to believe in things. And sometimes as a child, believing in things is healthy for you. It's healthy because it gives you something. It allows your mind to be creative. You know, it allows your mind to function. But when you leave childhood and you become adult, if you believe you're going to get that bill paid and you don't know you're going to get it paid, that bill ain't getting paid.
Right.
You got to have a method, a procedure. You got to know that you're going to get out there and get it done. That's how you get it done. But your service to the Creator is a different thing. In Christian church, they teach you to believe that this man going to come back and crack the sky, that he ain't died, that he walked the earth 3 days out of the grave after he was dead, and all kind of things they want you to believe. The Most High don't want you to believe anything. The Most High wants you to know. He said, this day thou shalt know. That's it. And that's what we're supposed to do. Leave that belief for those people who want to be in a part of a lie. Okay? But watch what happens. Read on, please.
What is your business? The sailors asked.
Who are you?
Where have you come from?
Where you coming from?
What is your
What? I love this. I don't mean to interrupt
Go
you,
ahead.
but before you get to this part, I love how Jonah describes who he is. Oh, when I read this part, I just said, whoa, the Most High is awesome how he do what he do. Watch what he does. Say it, please.
Okay.
Just go read that part.
What is your business? Where have you come from? What is your country? And of what people are you?
Oh, he sums it up. What do he say?
I am a Hebrew.
He a what?
I am a Hebrew.
Say it like you mean it.
I am a Hebrew.
The Jewish man will tell you that Hebrew is not a nationality. Hebrews don't exist. What Jonah say? Jonah said, I am a Hebrew. But he says it with confidence, with his cool little, slow little voice, with his arrogant self. I'm Hebrew. I'm a Hebrew. And that's who we are. We're Hebrew first. We're Hebrew first. Then we come from Yisrael.
right.
You understand? People got to understand that, but a lot of us don't know this. We think we part of a religion like Christianity, like Buddhism, Hinduism, or Allah, Islam. We think we part of a religion, but we're not. He didn't ask him what religion he belonged
Two
to.
friends, they say I ain't Hebrew no more. I track something else. Wait,
How the world can you change?
Yeah, you
that's your
can't, yeah.
nationality. What are you
That
talking
is
about?
who you are. How can you not be Hebrew
I ain't
anymore?
Hebrew no more.
It's your nationality. It's your nationality.
Like saying
It's
you ain't
your
black no more.
bloodline.
Chinese man say I ain't Chinese no more.
Yeah, it's like saying he ain't my daddy no more. Wait a minute, he birthed you. Yeah, but he ain't my daddy. Can't change that.
Right.
That's etched in stone forever. You know what I mean? Read on, please. I love how Jonah did that.
I am a Hebrew, he replied. I worship
Who?
Yah.
Who?
I worship Yah.
Oh, well, I want y'all to know that when Jonah said, I worship the Creator, he set a distinction in the earth.
Yes.
Nobody, they wasn't dealing with nobody who worshiped the Creator like this before. They wasn't accustomed to that. There wasn't no other Hebrews on the boat.
Right.
They were all other nationalities of other kind of people who worship Jesus, Allah, whatever their names are. Yeah, them people. They was all those kind of people who worship all those other deities. And Jonah said, I am a Hebrew. I worship the true Creator of all creation. And he introduced the Creator to the people when he opened his mouth and spoke. And watch what happens to the people afterwards. Read on, please.
He replied, I worship Yah, the Elohim of heaven, who made both sea and land.
Look how he defines the Most High with force and power. Read on, please.
The men were greatly terrified, and they asked him, what have you done?
They were what?
What have you
Now,
done?
what was they? The men was what?
Greatly terrified.
Greatly terrified. They heard the name of the Most High. They seen the power of the Almighty, and they were greatly terrified.
Yes.
How many of us today have that kind of zeal for the Creator? That when we hear His name and see His works, that we fear doing anything against His will. See, we would fall right in alignment if we did. You know, but we still got to act like we ain't got too much sense. The Most High gives us His warnings. He gives us His signs. And we still be disrespectful to Him. Just like Jonah was. Let's read on, please. And
I
let's
got a
watch what
question real
happens.
quick, Frank.
Yes, sis. What's your question?
Why is it so easy for you to say the name, the JC name?
Why isn't it easy?
Because
Jesus.
the Most High Sword is not the same
Jesus.
names of anybody that's being worshipped or praised.
Where's that at?
It says it.
All right, we'll deal with that in a minute, okay, sis?
That's even if he
All right.
existed, but okay.
No. All right, I'm going to deal with it right now, since y'all bring it up.
Oh man, you get off the subject. I'm enjoying this Jonah story.
But
More
we're not
Ray just-
supposed to-
more-
we're not supposed to-
Moray
you're
just
right.
told me to stick to the subject.
Yes, he
So,
did.
sis, remind me after Akre Shabbat, and you and I will dialogue just a little bit, and we'll get into that subject, okay?
Okay, you're right.
All right.
Finish this.
Read
Okay.
on, please.
What have you done? And when the men learned that he was the reason from the service of, I'm sorry. And when the men learned that he was, I'm sorry. And when the men learned that he was fleeing from the service of Yah, so he told them, they said
this
to
power
him,
got to be real.
what must we do to you to make the sea calm around
Ain't that
us?
something?
Oh, they
Ain't that
immediately,
something? They said, look, we desperate. We do anything right
they
now.
immediately got their act together. They put down praying to their gods, and they started, how can we please your power? You understand what I'm saying? Because that's what the reality of what we just read is. Oh, yeah? Your power did this to you because you did what? Oh, wait a minute. How can we please him?
Mm-hmm.
What can we offer to him to make him stop so that we can still live? Read on. Let's see what happens.
They said to him, what must we do to you to make the sea calm around us? For the sea was growing more and more stormy.
Okay, Prince. What it says when it said it became the sea, how bad it was, tempest. They said it was enraged.
Was enraged.
Enraged. That's mean out of control.
Like a tsunami.
So that
That's right. Oh, they was horrified.
Wow.
Remember how we exaggerated this, but it was accurate because these were sailors. Sailors are used to seeing the ocean act the fool. But this was beyond
This was
acting
beyond.
a fool. This was like 10 times worse than that. I told you the boat probably was straight up in the air like this. It was horrifying.
Rage.
Even the captain was scared. And that's probably
Yeah,
the one
that'd be a
talking to
bad
Jonah
storm.
right
Well,
now.
the best visual is a movie
it
called
was horrible.
the best visual I can give you guys. It's a movie called The Perfect Storm. It was a whirlwind in the water, and the boat was going around it,
Yeah, I hate
looking
those.
down
I hate those.
in this hole of more water.
Yeah, tornado in water. Whirlwind.
Hey, that's what it is. Read on, please.
All right. 12. He answered. He answered. Heave me over, and the sea will calm down.
What did he just say?
Heave me over, man. In other words, throw me over.
Oh. Where is Jonah's psyche at this particular time?
Anything, right?
I think he might be thinking the Lord mad at him, throw him over and it'll calm down. Like he take the punishment.
Well,
that
wait a
he-
minute. Did he just show mercy to these people by saying this?
Yeah, so they
You
like to be
understand what I'm
saved.
trying to?
Right.
He's
Killing two birds with
arrogant.
one stone.
Yeah.
He don't care about anybody.
Mm.
The Creator ain't hurting him. He cool. He down at the bottom of the ship sleep. In the ship sleep. He don't care about these people. But yet he just had a compassionate heart. He could have said, "Oh, ain't nothing y'all can do." Okay? But he didn't. He told them, "Take me and throw me overboard, and everything will be peace." And guess what they did?
It's a message within a message.
That's right. That's right. What'd he do?
He answered, heave me overboard, and the sea will calm down for you. I know that this terrible storm came upon you on my account. Nevertheless, the men rowed hard to regain.
They tried.
Wow.
They tried. They said, "No, we can't commit murder."
Yeah.
They still
Wow.
doubting.
They were
Well, wait a
still-
minute. We believe you, but
You told me already who you was
yeah,
already.
we trying to hold on. Now, why would we cause a man if your power got this kind of power? What you think he gonna do if we kill you and throw you overboard to the fish to eat you up? If he gonna hurt us like this because of what you done, if we kill you, what you think he gonna do? Now, they already fearing the Creator. Already their lives have changed. They don't want to throw this man overboard, but watch what happens. They can't take it no
I
more.
want to interject. if I
Go ahead,
can.
Murray.
There's a cartoon that I recommend even for adults to watch about this topic. And they actually had Noah, and they hung him off the boat. I'm sorry, thank you, Jonah. They hung him off the boat, the water calmed. They picked him back up, the water got choppy. They put him down again, it got calm. They pulled him back. It's all right, let's throw his butt over.
That was cool.
Go ahead, Murray. Cut it
All
out.
right. He answered, heave me overboard, and the sea will calm down for you. I know this terrible storm came upon you on my account. Nevertheless, the men rowed hard to regain the shore. But they could not, for the sea was growing more and more stormy about them.
Now they're disrespecting the Creator.
Right.
Read on.
Then they cried out
Hold
to
on,
Yah.
Let me dance to this for a minute.
Oh, go ahead.
Let me dance to this for a minute. It's oftentimes when we see the sign of the Most High, we see the hand of the Most High, we try to take matters in our own hands, just like those men did. And we try to do what we think is the best thing for us to do. But it's the Most High. When He tells you what He wants, you obey Him. Don't fight with Him. Don't try to justify it. Don't try to rationalize it. Give over unto the Father's will.
Right, because you're not going to win.
And things will be so much simpler for you.
Win.
These men tried to resist. Although they believed, they tried to resist because they was afraid. Maybe, Jonah, you wrong. It might not be that, Jonah. I think you wrong, Jonah. I ain't trying to kill you so I could die. They try to spare their own lives, but watch what happens. Read on, please.
Then they cried out to Yah.
What they do?
They cried out to Yah.
What they do?
They cried out to Yah.
Did they change?
Yes, they did.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yes.
That experience was enough to change their lives forever.
'Cause it
So
did.
the Father either had a way to make Jonah's disrespectful methods become honorable to someone else, a blessing to someone else in their lives.
Yeah,
It doesn't say how many men was on that ship. But all of them, the men,
Well,
cried out to
If
the
it's a
Creator.
ship, it's safe to say it's at least 50 people on it. Because
Hey,
you're going to need about 25 just to run it.
hey,
Yeah.
I'll argue with you.
Yeah.
You might be right. I ain't gonna argue with you. You'll get no argument out of me. But the point I'm trying to make is that Jonah, through his disobedience to the Creator, was enough of an example to show others how to serve this king. What do you want?
My stomach hurts and I already tried.
All right, sit down right there. His stomach hurt. He tried sitting on the toilet. Stomach still hurt. Okay. All right.
I got some ginger.
Yeah, ginger, a little
He'll
ginger.
be all right. Read on, please.
Okay. They cried out to Yah, "Oh, please, Yah, do not let us perish on account of this man's life.
What did they say?
Don't let us die. Please, Father, get us.
Not on
Help us.
account of him.
Not on account of this
Not on
Jonah.
account of
So
him.
wait a minute. He running from you and you doing this. You want us to we kill him? Ain't happening.
Now, let me see that. Ginger?
Yes.
All right. Then
We take our chances with rolling before
Get the rowing.
we take our chances of rolling before we throw him back over. But
So read on. Let's read on.
Okay. Yah, do not let us perish on account of this man's life. Do not hold us guilty of killing an innocent person."
See, they didn't want to kill him.
Right.
Right.
They didn't want to take his life. They was afraid. But yeah, now they pleading to the Almighty. Oh, wait a minute. We see how powerful you are. We know what you're capable of doing.
right.
So please, I mean, we don't want to kill him. We don't want to take his life, but
Right.
please, let this calm down. If not, then we ain't going to have no choice. So look, we're going to have to do what he said for us to do. Now, y'all got to remember that Jonah is a seasoned prophet.
Right.
He's seasoned. When he speaks, things happen. And if that punishment don't happen, he's upset because he know what the Creator told him. Now he looks like a false prophet.
Hey Prince.
Yes?
Even the way even the way you look at this here, even when he said take me to stone me, he seemed like he was calm there.
Cool. He cool
He
about
said
it.
take me and up and.
Well, for all we know, I mean, the scriptures don't say it. But for all we know, Yah could have said, "Tell him to throw me off."
Right.
Right.
I mean, how can you be that cool and just toss me off the boat?
I'm
y'all?
telling you, the confidence. See, when you have that relationship, you know, then people talk about a personal relationship. If they got a personal relationship with that thing,
Yeah.
how much greater of a personal relationship can you have with the true and living power?
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
Well, you know because you know because you know you know you know. You know I ain't gonna deal with you. That ain't gonna change until y'all pick me up and throw me overboard. That's it. You wanna fix this? Then get me off this ship.
Right.
Watch what happens. Read on, please.
Okay.
Put your feet down.
Do not hold us guilty of killing an innocent person for you. O Yah, by your will have brought this about.
Wait
And
a
they
minute.
have-
Is these pagans talking to the Creator?
Yeah.
Are these pagans? Are these pagans now? Do you hear how they? By your will, O divine Creator. The Creator ain't divine, but oh, by your will, O merciful King. You understand? They giving it up. Now tell me they didn't convert it that day.
Yeah.
Read on, please.
Made of believers. For you, O Yah, by your will,
Woo-hoo-hoo.
have brought this about. They heaved Jonah overboard, and the sea stopped
You gonna
ragging.
tell me they didn't serve the Most High the rest of their days. They are fool. They worse than Israel. See, the Gentiles will serve the Creator. But it's us. It is us who are the gifted, the talented, the blessed ones. It is us who give the Most High the most hard, the most difficult.
What's that old saying, Prince? Family will hurt you quicker than a stranger. That's us to the T.
The Most High says it. He says, if I'd have gave them my law, they would have served me. He knows it. It's us with our rebellious, stiff-necked,
Yes.
hard-headed selves. Read on, please. We passed one salvation story. Let's move on to the next one.
16. The men feared Yah greatly. They offered a sacrifice to Yah, and they made vows.
You hear this? You hear? Did they change their lives or what? They changed their lives. Now, how many times you read that story?
Oh my goodness gracious.
many times?
A lot.
See, it take people with keys to unlock the mysteries. It'd be so simple, be right in our face, and we don't even see it. Right? Don't even see it. Don't even pay attention to it until the Most High says, whew, and then your mind opens up. There's a lot of people here that's going to be hearing us and hearing us right now that don't understand where we're coming from. They're not going to see how deep you see. Like you said, it's a story in a story. They don't see that. But you did. You was able to see that. They'll hear it and still not be able to follow along how deep what we just read was.
That's only the first chapter.
No sacrifice was needed. No sacrifice. All he had to do was show his power, his might. And then his prophets spoke and they accepted. And they heard the warning and they heeded to it. Read on. Let's see what happens.
Chapter 2, verse 1. Yah proved a huge fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah remained in that fish's belly 3 days and 3 nights.
This is where they get that story of JC from.
Provided.
Like he make a reference to it somewhere in that book. He says something about as Jonah was in the belly of the whale for 3 days and 3 nights, so shall the Son of Man be in the belly of the earth. That's what he said. Jonah was in that belly for 3 days and 3 nights.
It had to stink.
Oh, it was horrible up in there. But think about it for a minute. What did he have to do all that time?
All I do is just go do what the Most High told him to do initially.
No. That's not where I'm going.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's cool.
Okay.
Cool. No. What did Jonah have to do all that time inside of that belly for 3 days and 3 nights?
Oh,
Fast.
fasting.
Fast.
There you go.
And it's spitting up.
There you go. See, fasting has a way of dealing with a man's mind.
Yes, sir, it does.
You see, it's deep.
Yes, sir,
It's
does.
deep. Fasting has a way of humbling you. The Most High said, oh, you ain't going to do what I got for you to do? I'm going to make it so that you are guaranteed to go where I said you're going to go. And when you get there, you're going to be spiritually ready to do my will. Watch what happens. Let's read on, please.
All right.
Watch what the
2 verse 1.
Watch what the whale does.
Yah provided a huge fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah remained in the fish's belly 3 days and 3 nights.
That's how long it took a fish, a whale, to get from where they were to where they were supposed to be. Read on. 3 days.
Jonah prayed to Yah, his Elohim, from the belly of the fish. He said, in my trouble I called to Yah, and he answered me. From the belly of Sheol I cried out, and
From the belly of the grave. Sheol is the grave. From the belly of the grave I cried out. Jonah didn't know if he was going to survive that whale. He didn't know if he was going to live. But yet he prayed to the only power, the only source that he had, and that was the Almighty. And watch what he does.
See, Kima, even Jonah had doubt.
That's
So
right.
you ain't different than nobody.
That's right.
You ain't different from
Talking about
nobody.
that earlier, didn't we?
Yes, sir. That's why I went there with it.
Read on, please.
Okay. In my trouble I called out unto Yah, and he answered me from the belly of Sheol. I cried out, and you heard my voice. You cast me into the depths, into the heart of the sea. The flood engulfed me. All your all your breakers and billows swept over me. I thought I was driven away out of your sight. Would I never gaze again upon your holy temple? The waters closed me in, moreover. The depths engulfed me. Weeds twined around my head. I sank to the base of the mountains. The bars of the earth closed upon me forever. Yet you brought my life up from the pit. O Yah, my Elohim.
Now stop for a second. Where was Jonah at this time when he made this prayer?
And belly of the fish.
How did he know where he was? He didn't.
He didn't.
He described this place as being hell. He can't see, first of all, because there is no light.
And there's seaweed
When
on his
he-
head.
Yeah. So when he was in the ocean,
Stinks.
you know what I mean? When he was in the ocean, it was dark. He couldn't see where he didn't know where he was. He was in this place. It's like a place of abyss.
Right.
You can't describe it. You really don't know it. You can only describe what you see and what you think you see. You understand?
He might think he buried alive.
I would've-
That's what he might have
I would have
thought.
died. 'Cause
Exactly.
I got claustrophobia. I would have just.
He might have thought he was already dead.
Right.
We don't know what he thought.
Remember, we talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
His prophets went through stuff. Right here, this is something that.
It's deep. But in his death, he was conscious enough to call upon the Almighty. See, when it's in you, it's in you. You don't have to think about it. It's in you, so this is what you do. Even in your sleep, you making prayer. You know what I mean? You ever in your sleep and something happened to you in your dream?
I did.
And you afraid,
wake up
and you about to, and in your prayer, in your sleep, you like, oh Father, have mercy, show unto me
Yep.
the truth, show me the way, save me, or bring me my salvation, or whatever it is. See, that's when it's in you. When you know nothing other than the Creator, it's in you. That's how you know it's real. So let's see what happens with Jonah. Read on, please.
Verse 8, chapter 2. When my life was abiding away, I called Yah to mind, and my prayer came before you into your holy temple. They who cling to empty fold forsake their own welfare, but I, with loud thanksgivings, will sacrifice to you. What I have vowed,
He's scared.
I will perform.
He's scared.
Deliverance is Yah's.
He's scared.
Hey, Kim, is he working?
Yeah, he worried.
He's scared. He don't know where he at. He don't know what's going on with him right now. All he know is something got him, and he can't describe it.
That's something.
He described it as the grave. He said, "I'm in Sheol. Weeds are all around me." He think he's in the middle of the earth. He says he went down to the bottom. He don't know where he at. So don't think he got a flashlight down there. And he looking inside his belly, walking around, talking about, "Man, this thing is big." He ain't doing that. He can't see nothing. It's pitch. It's darker than this. See how? It's darker than that.
Right, because you can still see the
That's
light,
right.
even though your eyes is
That's
closed.
right.
You're right.
It's darker than
It's
that.
darker
but
than
now
dark.
when it's dark like that here, it becomes dark like that here.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So in the midst of his triple stage of darkness, he remembered the Almighty. And watch what happens shortly thereafter.
Verse 11. Yah commanded the fish, and it swept Jonah out upon dry land. In other words, it spit him out.
Here's my warning. If Jonah had not have changed his heart, his mind, his attitude, he'd have been dead. And nobody ever heard from Jonah again. He'd been gone, rubbed out, gone. But what did he do? He did the same thing that I would advise all of us to do when we see that we're wrong, when we see that we've done evil. Humble ourselves before the Almighty and ask for mercy. That's all you got to do. Make a covenant. Enter into a covenant with the Creator, letting Him know that you won't violate that covenant again. I promise you, I won't.
Stay true to your word.
That's right.
But
And
I
keep
wonder-
your covenant.
When the well was spit him out, I wonder if he was able to look and say, wait, I was in there. I wonder, was it?
Never know. He
Was
was
he able
fasting
to
for
see?
3 days. He might have been
Well, he probably didn't see when he came out, King, because he still got seaweed wrapped
Yeah.
around him.
Never know what happened to him.
It's a reason why the Most High made him in that complete darkness.
No. That was poetry, IQ.
That wasn't poetry. That wasn't
That was
poetry.
poetry.
That
When you
wasn't
said-
poetry.
Hear
That
me
brother
out.
was saying his experience.
Hear me out. When he said I got seaweed wrapped around my head, first of all, is it wrapped around his whole head so he can't breathe? Is it wrapped around his eyes?
No, it could have been just right like
Okay, there you go. All right, he
I
made
got
it
what
seem
you're
like-
saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And when he said around my head, wrapped around my head, it could have been something that fell on my head. I could have said, man, I had seaweed all on my head. But you know how we
I got what you're
did.
saying. We exaggerate a little bit.
Or the seaweed that the well ate.
Of course. That's what we talking about.
Yeah.
He probably had a couple fish hitting him upside his
Well, he
head.
know he in the water. He know he in water. That's the only thing he
Well,
know.
Chris, I'm saying that I smell fish when it come out the water. It could be fresh fish.
Yes.
It still have a fishy smell.
Yes.
This man was inside of a big fishy well.
Stank.
But was it water in the well?
Absolutely.
They got it. Yeah.
The fish can't survive without the water, sweetie.
I know the well is in the water. That's how he breathing all that. But is it the well?
Well, you
well
guys
is full of
listen.
water?
The Most High picked the right fish. A fish can live. That fish can live out of water. It can come up and surface.
For a limited
for-
time.
right. So it has to get air.
Right.
So if it was like a shark, he'd have been gone.
Right.
There'd been no air in
It'd been no wreck because
Yeah.
ain't no air in a shark's body, but it is air in a whale's body.
I know. You said
And plus
air.
the way
Air, oxygen.
Plus the way that the shark's teeth are in their mouth,
He wouldn't have made it.
survived.
He wouldn't have made it
The
past.
sharks got rows of teeth, and they would have crushed him.
Rolls and rolls.
Yeah,
He wouldn't even made it to the
but
throat.
shark-
Yeah.
shark-
He
shark
wouldn't
don't
have
know
made it.
how
He
Nah,
to-
wouldn't even made it
He'd have been
past.
to the throat, but not
A
whole.
Exactly.
great white shark could.
Mm.
A great white shark can swallow a whole. We don't know how big
Yeah,
Jonah
but he
was.
wouldn't live.
Jonah could have been a midget.
Man.
Let's read on, please.
All
We
right.
getting sidetracked.
Chapter 3, verse 1. The word of Yah came to Jonah.
Feet on people's furniture. Sit up.
The word of Yah came to Jonah a second time. Go at once to Nineveh, that great city, and proclaim to it what I tell you. Jonah went at once to
3
Nineveh
days journey. Go ahead, read on.
in accordance with Yah's command. Nineveh was an enormously large city, a 3-day walk across. Jonah started out and made his way into the city. The distance of 1 day walk is proclaimed.
Now stop for a second,
Yep.
please. Jonah had a lot of time to think about what he was doing. He had a lot of time to think about what he was going to do when he arrived. You understand? So now he arrived, and what takes place?
You better have to deal with the most I can do.
40 days more, and Nineveh shall be overthrown. The people of Nineveh believed Yah.
Why? You know, I want to tell you one reason why? Didn't no regular dude just wipe up on a beach.
Correct.
That wasn't just no regular dude. I took you back to show Jonah's history to you so you'll know how profound Jonah was. Now, if a regular man just come knocking on your door right now, you got 3 days and the Most High gonna bring hell, damnation from the earth. You're like, this is fool. But let somebody knock on your door that you know have prophesied in the past, and the things that he said has come to pass, you're gonna get your house in order. They didn't argue with this man, they didn't dispute with this man, they shut up and did what he said, and Jonah got mad. You know why? Because it made him look like a false prophet. Instead of him accepting the respect and honor that they showed to him, he caught an attitude. Read on, please. Let's see what happens.
Not only this, guys, these are Assyrians. What is Jonah? He had a different look. So he looked different, he saw,
Definitely looked
he
different.
sound different, and he had an aura. Like Prince said, he had a history, he had a reputation. Nineveh was enormously large city, a 3-day walk across. Jonah started out and made his way into the city, the distance of 1 day walk, and proclaimed 40
So,
days.
He went almost into the middle of the city. Who lives in the center of the city?
Everything that's happening.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Everything happens in the center of
Hold
the
on.
city.
He went to Nineveh a day's journey. How big was the city?
3 days for a day's journey to get through the city. 3 days. So if he walked for a day all the way in, he's almost in the center. Read on, please.
Okay. 40 days more, and Nineveh shall be overthrown.
Y'all got 40 days to get yourselves together.
The people of Nineveh believed Yah. They proclaimed a fast, and great and small alike put on sackcloth. When the news reached the king,
I was trying to remember
Of
the name
Nineveh.
of the king of Nineveh at this time.
when the news reached the king of Nineveh, he arose from his throne, took off his robe, put on sackcloth, and he sat in ashes.
Can
And-
you imagine that orange dude doing this?
Oh man.
Talking about Agent Orange.
You know he's
Up in the White
House. You know
Up
he's
in the
talking
White-
about.
Heck no.
The Hebrews giving him a message, and he just humbles himself.
No.
He'll build a wall
Never.
first.
Never.
But this is how serious this is. The Assyrians,
King
Sennacherib. You know, Sennacherib was one of the kings who took us into captivity.
Right.
Sennacherib. So there's probably a lot of Hebrews mixed in the midst of all this. or this might have been prior to. Sennacherib was one of those kings, so during his lifetime, it would have been around that time we was in his captivity. Tiglath-Pileser was his father. Read on, please.
Okay.
Tiglath-Pileser was the first king. Let me give a little bit of
Yeah,
history.
go ahead.
He was the first king of the Assyrian captivity. That what he did was he went in and conquered a nation, and he would uproot the people up out of their land and displace them into another land to have better dominion over them. That art came from him. And then after that, other nations began to imitate and emulate that same type of thing. He was the one who started that, Sennacherib's Abba. I believe that's his father. Read on, please. You can look that up for me,
So,
Maureen, and back
the
it up.
diaspora started from him.
Yes.
Diaspora is when they went
Yes.
to.
Now look that up and make sure that Tiglath-Pileser is Sennacherib's father.
Verse 7.
Just to let me make sure I'm right.
Verse 7, chapter 3. And he had the word cry through Nineveh by decree of the king and his nobles, no man or beast of flock or herd shall taste anything. They shall not gaze, and they shall not drink
He meant
water.
business. He said no man or beast shall taste or drink anything. He meant it. Because they knew they was a sinful nation. Remember, they had just, I don't know if it was just, but they were responsible for putting our people in captivity. The creator said, Noah, Jonah, get over there. He got me calling brother Noah. Get over there and go talk to him. Read on, please.
All right.
They want to go?
They shall not gaze, and they shall not drink water. Verse 8. They shall be covered with sackcloth, man and beast, and shall cry mightily to Yah. Let everyone turn back from his evil ways and from the injustice of which he is guilty. Who knows but that Yah may turn and relent? He may turn back from his wrath so that we do not perish.
Read on.
Yah saw what they did, how they were turning back from their evil ways, and Yah renounced the punishment he had planned to bring upon them, and did not carry it out.
So the Most High did not carry out the punishment, and Maury found out that Sargon II is Sennacherib's Abba.
Okay.
We're going to see who his father was. Tiglath-Pileser. Yeah, Tiglath. Tigleath, something like that. Okay? So he saw now the the creator didn't curse these people now because they humbled themselves.
Quickly.
So let me say this real briefly. For us in the listening audience. If there comes a time in your life where you feel like the Most High is not with you, or you feel like the Most High is punishing you for whatever reason it may be, that you feel he's bringing some type of curse or punishment upon you, do what the ancient Assyrians did. Do what your forefathers have done. Do what the Creator has prescribed for you to do, and as humble yourself before the Almighty.
Right.
Seek His face. Change from your evil ways. And stop thinking that you got all the answers.
Right.
Pray.
True.
Seek His face and humble yourself. And the Most High heal you. But you got to mean it when you go before Him. I remember when I was incarcerated. Yeah, I was incarcerated a couple times. Only once, I don't think. There was a time when I was incarcerated. But the wonderful thing is, if you check my record, you'll see I ain't got no record.
Right.
Because I beat everything.
Because
I trust His King.
Oh, yeah.
You would do anything, the Most High beat everything.
So, yeah, he did everything. Yeah, Tiglath-Pileser. What read it?
Right.
What does it say?
No, he's
Sargon's father?
He's actually Sennacherib.
Sennacherib's.
Yeah,
Oh, I was right there. See, I knew I had something. I had a little bit something. Tiglath-Pileser was Sennacherib's father. Very good. But I had the other one say Sargon II was. I don't know. Maybe that's another name. I don't know. We'll deal with that later, though. I had a little bit of memory. But I remember that one time that I really, really cried out to the Creator. This was like the second time I was really incarcerated. I had two major joints. The first joint they offered me 30 years, and the second joint it wasn't rap. I was just gonna fight it, period. But I'd probably got life. But don't matter. But I beat him. But the second time I was crying out to the Creator, and I was like, "Oh, Creator, listen, Creator, I won't do this again. I promise you, Father." I mean, I was really crying and fasting, and He made me fast because I'm vegan. And when I was incarcerated, I was vegan.
I think I seen one of these.
Yeah, you seen that video? Yeah.
Incarcerated.
That was a
Yeah,
good
man,
video.
that was
It
deep.
good, yeah, it was.
And I couldn't eat. He made it so that I couldn't eat.
The Most High will put you where you will humble yourself.
Didn't He do Jonah? He did that to Jonah, didn't He?
Yes.
He did it to me too. And I was down for like 3 weeks or something.
Yeah.
Are you worried?
Yeah, 6 months the first time, and 3 or 4 weeks. Was I worried? I was on my knees crying. I say all this to say this to you. I'm not proud of what I'm about to say, but I have to be honest with my people because nobody's perfect, and I want to let you know. So I promised the Creator this, and I promised the Creator that. Oh, Creator, please, you deliver me from this. And I promise you, this here won't happen no more with that right there. Man, the Creator, I went to court. Not guilty, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. I was crying in the courtroom and everything, right? A little while later, hey, what's up? I'm cool. All right, well, let's go get something to eat. Yeah. And next thing you know, I got 4 or 5 more kids coming out that joint. But I had already promised the Creator that was my sacrifice. That's what I was offering up because I knew it wasn't good for me. I eased right back in that situation. Now I'm a single, well, I ain't single, but now I'm a parent, been a single parent for a long time with 5 little ones. From that type of situation that I knew I wasn't supposed to have been involved in. You understand? My word to the Creator, I only had one on the way. One on the way. And I told the Creator on the floor in my cell, Creator, I promise you, I ain't never walking down that way no more. It's ready to give me life for something. 30, 40 years, guaranteed for what took place. Got up off the floor, less than a year later, I was popping another baby up in there. And I say that in all humility. Yes, I did eventually, years later, broke that ice. And I walked away from that situation. And I replaced it with something else to get away from that situation, right? So one day, I'm going to tell you how powerful this king is. It ain't no joke, man. I'm serious. One day, I go to my house, because this joint was still living in my house, right? I go to the house to go visit it, and she had on this something, and it kind of like mesmerized me a little bit, right? So I started like laying and got touchy, right? So I said, let me get up out of here. I got a little strong. Let me get up out of here before I do something I ain't got no business doing, right? Because I knew she had already been with somebody else. And once a woman go be with another man, you can't have her.
Right.
You can't take her back.
And that's law.
And I gotta make sure I put that on record so the brothers don't. She can never be your wife again. So I got a little bit strong, and plus I already had me another wife, and I got out with my car. I drove down the street. I was on my way to school. I remember. I was on my way to school. Had me a little blue Toyota Prius. Remember that little blue Toyota Prius? You remember that? You ever seen that? Yeah. Well, I had a little blue Toyota Prius. I'm on my way to school. So I'm driving down the street, and I get around the corner. I said, I'm going back. I said, no, I'm going to go just, I ain't going to do this, but I'm going to do a little bit of something. That's how it always is. Now, I'm telling you this story, which is embarrassing to me.
No.
It's embarrassing to me, but I have to let you know how sin, evil, creeps up on you.
Right.
I got out of it the first time, and I drove like 2-3 blocks away and turned around to go back. I got 1 block down the street, and a truck said, smack! This king ain't no joke, man. He ain't no joke. You don't play with him, I'm telling you. Do not play with the Most High. When you need something to him, he gonna let you know. I ain't never went back since.
Okay.
I like to try to think that that was a learning experience for me.
Heck yeah. That was a learning experience for everybody listening.
Everybody in this room.
So I don't think I need to repeat that no more. Jonah is this history. Jonah is letting you know what this is all about. Got smacked 1 block down the street from my house. Now she in my house. But yet she wasn't mine anymore.
Right.
and I went to go have some fun. I didn't have to go that far and do nothing to say she my woman again, but I went to have some fun. And the father said, no, that ain't happening. I'm going to make you do what I say for you to do. And guess what? And I stopped at the stop sign.
Wow.
And
That was
stopped
the
at
bad
the stop
part.
sign.
I stopped at the stop sign.
That's a
And the
worse-
car
that's a-
said, boom. That was it. So that was my call. I'm thankful he spared my life.
Yeah, 'cause that could have took you out.
But you know what that did for me? That let me know what I meant to him. He said, I'm going to stop you from sinning against me.
Right, right.
You mean that much to me that I'm going to tempt this water and raise that sea up and slam this ship around to make you come to your senses. Ain't that what he did with Jonah? See, if you mean anything to him, he going to let you know.
So was your car
He going to
torn?
let us all know.
Was you in the hospital?
No, I got a couple of hours though. Just a little bit chump change, just for my car, fix it up. I wasn't in the hospital. If you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Join us.
Okay.
Hearing about you getting smacked.
Smack. Oh, I got smacked. Read on, please.
All right. We are in chapter 4, verse 1. Excuse me. Let me see. Okay. This displeased Jonah greatly, and he was grieved. He prayed to Yah, saying, "O Yah, isn't this just what I said when I was still in my own country?"
See, Jonah knew how the Most High was. When the Most High said to Jonah, listen, I want you to go to Nineveh, the Assyrians, and I want you to go and talk to them. Jonah said, no, man, I don't want to go because all you're going to do is have mercy on them. He knows how the Most High is. He knows, and all of us should understand the Most High's mercy. All you need to do is humble yourself, pray, and seek his face, and he will turn your calamity into a blessing. I don't care what your situation is, whatever it is. Humble yourself, pray, and seek his face. 2 Chronicles, the 7th chapter, verse 14. That's what you do. And the Most High is just that. He's not an overbearing power. He's a very merciful power.
He's not a tyrant.
Look at all that we did to him, and he's still having mercy on us today. We're still
Yeah,
here.
that's what I got.
You understand?
Yes.
Jonah knew that. So Jonah got mad when the Most High didn't bring down his wrath. He said, Jonah walking down the street fussing. See, I told you weren't going to do it. I knew how you are. You know, that wasn't Jonah's place. So watch what the Most High does to Jonah to teach Jonah that the value of life is greater than your own selfish reasons. Read on, please.
This displeases Jonah greatly, and he was grieved. He prayed to Yah, saying, "O Yah, isn't this just what I said when I was still in my own country? That is why I fled beforehand to Tarshish, for I know that you are a compassionate and gracious Elohim, slow to anger, abounding in abundantly in kindness, renouncing punishment. Please, Yah, take my life, for I would rather die than live."
You see this?
You see the arrogance of this man? Because the Most High saved thousands of people and didn't punish him, and it wasn't Hebrew or Israelites, he got angry. He got upset. What right does he have to do that?
Zero.
None. The Most High will have mercy on whom he chooses to have mercy.
Another prophet got caught up doing that, Isaiah. When he chastised the children of Israel, the Most High had them cherubims put that hot coal on his tongue.
Yeah. That was a good one, Isaiah 6th chapter.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Read on, please.
Yes, sir.
Let's see what happens.
That is why I fled beforehand to Tarshish, for I knew that you are a compassionate and gracious Elohim, slow to anger and abundantly in kindness, renouncing punishment. Please, Yah, take my life, for I would rather die than live. Yah replied, "You that deeply grieved?" Now Jonah had left the city and found a place east of the city.
Now, Jonah done went off to his own now. 40 days had already passed, so Jonah got set in a little bit. So now he up in the hills somewhere, and it's hot, and he thirsty. And watch what takes place.
He made a booth there and sat under it in the shade until he should see what happened to the city. Yah Elohim provided a plant which grew up over Jonah to provide shade for his head and save him from discomfort.
Now, the Creator provided a plant that grew up overnight and it allowed to bring shade or comfort to Jonah. You know it's hot in those countries. It's really hot. So that tree, that plant, it grew up and his leaves spread over Jonah and it protected him from the heat of the sun. Now watch what takes place. Read on, please.
But did you see the miracle? Plant grew, bam.
Overnight.
We all know how long it takes for a plant to grow naturally. That's another little
That's
gem.
the power of the Almighty.
That's the power of the Almighty.
But that shows you how powerful Jonah was too. I mean, how special he was to the Almighty.
Correct. Yah provided a plant which grew up overnight over Jonah to provide shade for his head and save him from the discomfort. Jonah was very happy about the plant.
He
But
was happy for a plant. Why? Because, and I want y'all to hear closely what I'm saying, because it provided a service to his life. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Now, expound on it.
Okay.
What am I trying to say?
He was selfish.
Forget him. What am I trying to say? That as long as somebody brings us pleasure in our lives, they cool. But the moment that person no longer brings us pleasure or serves a purpose in our lives,
He's done with him.
you know what I mean? I ain't here. What?
Mm-hmm.
That's how we are. We some evil people, man. This story of Jonah is not in the book by accident. It's a reflection for us to reflect upon and see our own evil ways through the eyes of a story. Whenever it's not good for us, so we think, we don't want it. If it's not serving us, we don't want it. We are selfish. Many of us, or most of us, are extremely, extremely selfish. Now Jonah laying back in the hot heat, he got something to cover him up, keep him cool, so he can chill and look at the city. So he good, he in a good shape. But the moment that died, he got upset. Why? Because his comfort is gone. But the lives of all those thousands of people that was just spared, he got upset over their life being spared. But the plant that grew up overnight and went away in a moment, he got upset over. That is unrighteous. The Most High has a way of giving us great knowledge, man. Teaching us wonderful lessons if we but hear. Now what I want y'all to do is search your life and see how you can apply these teachings in your life. Whether it be with your wife, your brother, your friend, somebody you just kicked off in your relationship because no longer was they doing what you wanted them to do, but yet they wasn't doing anything unrighteous. They wouldn't give you your way. Or whatever it may be, it might even be your children. A lot of times we have more regard for those who serve a benefit in our lives, who live in evil, than those who live in righteous but has nothing to do with our lives. And that makes us what?
Unrighteous.
Unrighteous. Read on, please.
4 and 7. But the next day at dawn, Yah provided a worm which attacked the plant so that it withered. And when the sun arose, Yah provided a surely wind, east wind. The sun beat down on Jonah's head, and he became faint. He begged for death, saying, I would rather die than live. Then,
all because he was discomforted. Sometimes you got to go through the discomfortation to receive great blessings from the Creator. And also, you have to go through these discomfortations to bring blessings upon the life and the welfare of someone else. This ride, this walk, it ain't gonna always be comfortable. Like small example, but do you see how Moray would benefit? His house would be in great condition, and his chairs would still be new, his carpet would still be shiny. If he wasn't sacrificing, he's being discomforted by us being here in his home every Shabbat. You know, he ain't gonna say nothing because he understands the greater purpose, the greater mission. And I'm saying this about Moray, and you have to find how this can apply for you in your own personal life. Do things that's greater than yourself, that you don't benefit from, then you're blessed. Every time somebody's in your life and you're doing something for them or to them or with them and you're reaping a benefit, you'll still get blessed, but your blessings won't be as great. I remember one day I was walking down the street, driving down the street in my car, and I seen this lady on the bus stop with all these kids waiting for the bus. Which I thought I did. Gave her a ride. Not me. I pulled over and walked down the street and gave her $100. Put $100 in my hand. She said, "Oh, thank you, Jesus." I said, "No, not him." I said, "No, sis, that came from the Creator.
Right.
That's the Creator. That's just for you and your children. You do your thing, all right? Have a good day." "Oh, thank you. Thank you." She was so happy, so elated, so pleased. But I used to do things like that all the time for people that I felt were in need. He was coming over here and put his hand out like he get a little something. I used to do things like that for people all the time. And then when I became needy, the Most High provided for me. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm saying this because I want y'all to understand that if you want something, you got to give something. But you got to know how to give. Now, I'll never see that lady again and know that that was the woman that I gave that money to. So I did something for somebody that couldn't do nothing for me.
Right.
You understand? I empowered somebody that their empowerment had nothing to do with my welfare or my benefit. You see, if I meet a female and she start crying at me talking about the Creator, and I'm a single man and I'm lonely, and I help her, then I can help her. And if she decides to be a good blessing to me, then so be it. I ain't got no issue with that. You understand? But my intentions were pure.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you this because it's happened. Mm-hmm. My intentions was pure. And I was really about the Creator's business. But it's something about a woman. When they see a man that fears and loves the Creator, it does something to them. I don't know what it does, but it does something to him. It makes him more mushy inside. I don't know why. Am I right, sis? Am I right? Women
Yes.
love Creator fearing men.
yeah,
they do. They do. And I don't know what it is, but
At first.
it's like that. Yeah.
Message.
Glory say at first. And I have to agree with that.
Till they get comfortable, right?
No, but from my own personal experience, what happened is,
Restrictions.
no, we stop fearing the Creator like we supposed to. And we end up not being what they married. And we become something else. And in our becoming something else, we don't realize that we've become something else. This would happen to me. I can admit my evil and my faults and why life has taken the turn that it has taken for me. So I do that. And I worked and hard worked to better myself, to get myself back on that level where I was supposed to be. And I still ain't even satisfied 100% where I'm supposed to be, but I feel it coming back.
Right.
Thank you, Creator. That's all I can say. But we all got a journey, man. Let's see what happens with Jonah. Let's read it.
None.
Okay. Then Yah said to Jonah, "Are you so deeply grieved about the plant?" "Yes," he replied, "so deeply that I want to die." Then Yah said, "You cared about the plant which you did not work for, and which you did not grow, which appeared overnight and perished overnight. And should not I care about Nineveh, that great city, in which there are more than 120,000 persons? Who do you not yet know their right hand from their left, and many beasts as well?"
You understand?
Yeah.
So what happened after that?
What happened after that? He eventually took Nineveh out, but down the road. But he gave him a chance. He gave Nineveh a chance to do right.
It had to have been something that the Ninevites did to cause the Most High to even extend to them that form of mercy.
Right.
So something must have took place that the story of Jonah ain't mentioning. But I tell you what, Sennacherib didn't have no problem adjusting his behavior. Something that we all must learn through our daily walks. When we realize that the Father's not pleased with us, pray, humble ourselves, and seek his face. And turn from your evil ways. Turn from your evil ways. There's a way within a man that makes a man believe that he's right, but he's right in his own mind. If you realize that all these calamities are happening and taking place in your life, it's time for you to step outside of what you're normally doing and normally have conditioned yourself to believe to be true, and let go. And let the Most High rebuild you back up. Start from scratch. Start from scratch. Because if you don't, what you're going to do, and I'll promise you this, you're going to repeat the same behavior. The same issue. It's just going to be a matter of time. You're going to end up repeating. When the Most High gives you the next opportunity to do better, you do better. You have to change your ways. What did I do? What did I do? I got in that car and pulled off. Thought I was cool. And at the first opportunity, skirt, came right back. But the Most High smacked me out. I'm telling you, family, whenever you realize in your mind that you have done something wrong, change. First you stop. Change your method in whatever it was that you've done. You don't give up, but you stop and you change. You become better. You improve yourself to laos, as the Most High says, to do better. You have to. Okay? Any questions before we close it out?
No, he
That's a
did.
quick comment.
Yes, Ema.
I guess is it possible, without adding to a story, the narrative, is that I was just wondering, is it just biblically possible that when the story of Jonah being tossed out and saving the ship full of men, could that story have gone to Nineveh ahead of her, Tim?
Absolutely.
And that would have been a good reason for. And then when they actually see that he's still, and if they connect and realize that could have been him, that he is still alive, would that be a good reason to know they had to repent? Because what he's saying is got to be the truth, because he came saying that in 40 days you're going to be gone.
The only thing that I can say, maybe not, and it's just a maybe not that you're wrong, just that this is a maybe, because the sailors was actually heading to a Joppa.
Okay, that's what I was
They were heading in a
hearing.
different direction. So Jonah took that ride.
He took advantage
Yeah.
of that fact that they were headed to Joppa. He didn't want to go to Nineveh.
That is true.
Yeah.
He was going the opposite way.
Right.
That's what he was purposely.
So
unless
the Most High has a way of getting what he want when he wanted, even if it's not on your time.
Listen,
He did it with Samson.
Listen, Mr. McConnell, we really got to close down.
Okay.
We really do.
Oh.
People got places to go, and I don't want to hold up. Prince, your message, all praise and glory to you. You know when the message is good, when you can see all the twists and turns that he tell you in the story, and then you look at yourself and say,
You start seeing yourself in the story.
that's good stuff. So, come on, y'all, we need to do this. We family, let's do this.
LP, boy and I.
What LP stands for Little Prince?
Yes.
Wait, don't you see, Kyrie, if you would have knocked Ema over, calm down, do you understand? Let's go, come over here and that's an adult.
Evan,
Who is it on?
It's on the
You
big
got-
women.
Okay, so, come on, boys.
All hearts clear.
Hallelujah.
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 Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Blessed be your name, Most High, forever and ever. I want to say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Another beautiful beautiful Shabbat day. Todayah.
Todayah.
For the lives of our elders, even down to the Yiladims, Most High, because they are our future, Most High.
Yes.
Help us to please guide them and steer them the right way, Most High, towards you. Most High, Creator, I ask you to be with us throughout the week. Be with the children, especially in their schools, Most High.
Yes. Yes.
Help those paganist ways, and those ways that can rub off on our children, Most High.
Yes.
Help us, Most High, to raise them up in your law, Most High, the right way. Give us the strength that we need, Most High, to do it. Give us the strength, the power to listen to the children to try and tell us something, Most High. Not to turn a deaf ear to them, but to listen to what they have to say. What they say is important. Creator, we know you can use anyone. You have the power to use anything. We ask that you please allow us to have that humbling spirit. Help us not to be so aggressive and haughty and be know-it-alls, Most High. Help us to be able to listen to each other. Help us to have more of a bond, Most High, with our Israelite brothers and sisters. Give us strength, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, for we know only you can do these things, Most High. We ask that you please, Creator, work a way in our life, Most High, a miracle, a blessing, Most High, that people can look at and say, this person is a good Israelite. This person is a good servant to the Most High. Help us to be real and righteousness, Creator. As we ask all these things of you, Most High, for only you can do these things, Most High. We know no other help. We know no other power but you, Most High. Hallelujah. Blessed be your name, Yah, forever and never. Hallelujah. 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 And Yah, please let the words of our mouths, the meditations of our hearts, always be acceptable in your sight. Oh Yah,
Our strength and my Redeemer. Hallelujah. 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 We love you, Yah. We love you, Yah. We love you, Yah. Hallelujah. Kumbaya. 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 Arise, Yah. Arise, Yah. Arise, Yah. Hallelujah. Yakali Alambae. Yakali Alambae. Yakali Alambae. Yah lives forever. Yah lives forever. Yah lives forever. Hallelujah. Shema.